Good morning. What's up, y'all? How are you doing today? This is Thursday morning. I am coming to give y'all just a quick little thought about the All Eyez on Me movie. This will not be my typical recap. I'm not going to go through the whole movie. I just want to give y'all some thoughts on it. When I was sitting there watching this movie, initially I started off saying that didn't happen. That didn't go down like that. I remember when I met Tupac, when he was dancing for Digital Underground. The way that the movie made it seem is that Underground heard his music, and they were like, bam, 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 bam. All right, you rapping. Now he up on stage rapping with them. No, he wasn't on stage rapping with them. He was a background dancer. They liked his music, but they signed him as a background dancer first. And they used to let him get in the studio and get on the mic and everything every once in a while. But when I met him, he was a background dancer for Digital Underground. I was like 14, so Pac had to be about 16. Now that might be wrong. I think I might have been a little older. I might have been 16, which means he might have been about 18, 15, 16. I don't remember. I was living with my mama. I wasn't living with my mama a lot. I was living with my mama when I was 15. So he was probably 17 at the time. Okay. And so there was a lot of things that had happened that I was like, So after sitting there and mulling over what ain't right about this, what ain't right about that, and then my daughter looking at me a few times sideways like, look, I just want to watch the movie about my daddy. If y'all didn't know, I had Keena convinced for years that Tupac was her daddy. Without her even understanding or realizing that he passed away 2 years before she was even born. But I had my baby convinced that Tupac was her daddy. I wasn't spreading this shit to the media, so I wasn't one of them hoes out there trying to claim him as my baby's father for real. Okay, but yeah, there was a lot of things that just didn't add up for me. I did not like the actor. In a lot of scenes, he looked like Pac, depending on how fast they pan the camera, or the blackout or the fade out of the scene, and he looked like Pac. But I think he over dramatized a lot of his actions. Every once in a while, he actually sounded like Pac. But like I said, I think he over dramatized his actions for the most part. I did not like Jada Pinkett's portrayal either. I think they were trying to base her character on how she is now. If you've ever looked at Jada Pinkett interviews and conversations from back in the days on forward, you can see her growth or transition in the way she communicates during interviews, and the attitude that they give in her in that movie is how she is now. And Jada Pinkett went on a rant on Twitter about the movie, about how she was falsely misrepresented, how like the poem in the movie, he never gave her that poem. She didn't even know there was a poem until his book came out. She never went to one of his shows and met him backstage, when she supposedly confront him about making the Hit 'Em Up song and talking about faith. That never happened. And she said, her relationship with Pac was very precious. So the fact that they completely destroyed her memories and portrayed him incorrectly. Now, she said that she was not mad at the actors and the actresses that are in the movie. She thought they did a great job, which I didn't think they did an awesome job. They did an okay job, not a great job. Some of them was just too dramatic. I love the fact, I was like, oh my God, is that old punk ass CC from Dreamgirls? He's playing Pac's manager. And it took me like almost to the end of the movie, like, is that CC? And Keena was like, I said that in the beginning when we sat down. So yeah, I love to see him in the movie. I don't think I've seen him in anything else since Dreamgirls. If he has been, y'all enlighten me. I would love to catch to see what else he's acting in. So there was a lot of things that was off-putting. So actually, like I say, after I decided to, well, just fuck it, just watch it as a movie. It's fiction. And then I could try to get into the movie itself. What I didn't like, kind of how they did Whitney Houston's story. And watching Whitney Houston's story, you realize that whole story is about Bobby Brown. Same thing with this All Eyez on Me movie. This was not about Pac's life. This was about the beef that he supposedly had with Bad Boys, and whether or not he believed Biggie Smalls shot him, or had something to do with his shooting, or whether or not Suge had something to do with his shooting, or to exonerate Suge from having something to do with his shooting. That's what it seemed like this movie was about. This is supposed to be the untold story of Tupac's life. If you ever seen Thug Angel, if you ever seen Resurrection, if you ever watched any of his interviews, you pretty much know Pac's story. So I was very curious on what they were going to bring to us as far as like what is untold about his life. I was also very curious as why they did not bring this movie out before his mother died. I haven't heard anything from his sister, whether or not she has thoughts and views on this movie. But yeah, why wait till Afeni died? Because I know Afeni had all the rights to everything that was Pac. Why did this movie come out after she died? She passed away back in March. So I was curious about that. So like I was able to like get into the music. They used Pac's music from songs that was already out there. They used very little real footage of Pac, and I think what they did use was like from actual interviews that was already made public, so they really had no copyright over that. But it seemed like in the beginning of this movie they rushed through Pac's life. They started off when he was little. His mama was calling him Pac. Before she met Medulla Shakur, Pac was LaShawn Parrish. That's what he was born as. He talked about his daddy briefly, but the way they did this interview, okay, so they went to the jail and did the interview with him like they did in real life, right? But what they pulled out from that interview didn't seem to gel either. You know what I'm saying? It's like they pulled a sentence from the interview and then they try to run with it and make the film from it. Okay, but there was so many more important key factors in that interview that could have been the true untold story of Tupac Shakur. So oh my gosh. And they danced around it. They danced around his life in Oakland, about the poetry club that he had been into. And that lady who was in that poetry club was such a significant part of Tupac's life. They glossed over it like, oh yeah, I met this white chick who had this hip hop poetry club, and that's when I started rhyming. No. That ain't how they went down. They also, like I said, they walked through Afeni's drug addiction, which they kind of hinted toward it and then threw it out there in the last minute that she all of a sudden popped up in Oakland when he was on tour. And if I remember correctly, Pac went to go stay with his aunt in Oakland. They didn't like really dip into the fact that Pac was not a gangster. He hung around people who were like hood and street, but he himself was not a gangster. Hell, for the most part, they was fighting for him. You know what I'm saying? As he went on in the music industry, he had to start defending and speaking up for himself a little bit more, because that's the image he was putting out there. But Pac was not a gangster. He learned a lot of information from the streets because his mama was a hustler, baby. You know what I'm saying? So they glossed over that, and they kind of, I wasn't here for that either. It just, I liked the movie. If I took out the fact that I knew people who know a little or anything about Pac was probably sitting here looking at this movie like, what the fuck? But like I said, I tried to take out the fact of the things that I did not like. This motherfucker is really on my ass. Like, whoa. I tried to take out the things that was like I didn't like. I tried to take out the things that I was like, that's not factual. That's not factual. And then try to just enjoy the movie, and took out what I knew of Pac just to enjoy the movie, and it made the movie more enjoyable. Like, there were some fine ass brothers they had up in this movie. I'm not into big dudes, but the dude they had playing Suge Knight was actually kind of fine. So the movie really, like I said, it became about the so-called West Coast beef with Bad Boys. That's pretty much what this movie was like focusing on. That's what took over the movie for me. They kind of glossed over everything. They didn't tap into his interviews where he was talking about the black community. They really didn't. They showed once that he saw this woman with some kids and gave her some money. Pac was more about that. It wasn't just, he was organizing shit. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't just, I'm out here passing money on the street to this one little shorty and that's it. That ain't what he was doing. So like I said, there's a lot of shit from that interview, his jail interview, that they could have really drew on to make this a better movie. Anybody who's ever seen the interview would know that. They made it seem like when he died that him and Snoop was just having this like beef that Snoop was unaware of. It's a lot of shit that I was like, okay. But I'm gonna let y'all enjoy the movie, because like I say, because of the music, I was rocking out to it. You know what I'm saying? I was rocking out to the movie. Like I say, if I take out what I know of Pac and just watch it as a movie, it was a pretty decent movie. If you didn't, like youngsters today that don't know shit about Tupac and just know the music, they would love this movie. Put it like that. But yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say. Like I said, I'm not gonna go through the details of the movie. I'm not gonna walk through it. I just, like I said, they glossed over the initial, the basics of his life that really made Pac what he was. They gave statements about, yeah, he's a revolutionary, but they didn't show any of that in the movie. They didn't show his revolutionary side. They just tried to show his they tapped onto the rape case for a minute. They tapped onto him hanging out with Nigel and club hopping, and Pac was like a clown. Like, yo, he was like the funniest dude ever. And I think at the end when he was like joning on Suge, they kind of tapped into that a little bit, but he was always fucking clowning, yo. That cat stayed in the studio. Yeah, it's just, it was a good movie, but as a Tupac fan, the fact that they was calling him people that was like supposed to be so close, like they had Jada just calling him Tupac. The average person that was like down, just call him Pac. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that they kept calling him Tupac, I just kept hearing that all through the show, and they kept focusing on like his name, especially when he was talking to Ted Fields and everything. Yeah, it's just like the incident with the Atlanta cops and how he got beat, and He shaved his head after that because he got beat so fucking bad. His hair wasn't growing back like he wanted it. So the situation with the Atlanta cops, they glossed over that. They beat the fuck out of Pac, but they glossed over that. What's the Atlanta cops? I'm mixing those stories up. The cops that approached him on the street and was just like, "Who are you?" That situation. Those cops. The Atlanta cops was the one that he supposedly saw somebody getting beat up on the side of the road, and he jumped out and started bang bang shooting them up, and they shot the cop. That's what that was. So that was I don't know. I would recommend people still go see it though. I do. I'm not gonna even giving it a grading scale because I'm biased. So I'm not gonna give it a grading scale, but I still say people should go see All Eyez on Me. It grossed $27 million on the first weekend it was out. And as much as I'm a Pac fan, I don't like going to the movies on opening day, so I didn't take my black ass to the movies. Actually, I was supposed to go with my girlfriend, and then I ended up getting tickets to go see BBD, SWV and Guy, and I ended up going to that instead, and went to go see Pac later. But yeah, that's it. So All Eyez on Me. Small review of it and my thoughts on the movie. I'm not, like I said, I wasn't going to give you a full recap of it. They started off with his mama getting out of jail, and she's pregnant with him, and then growing up in the house with Matula, listening to Matula speak about revolution, part of the Black Liberation Association and the Black Panthers. And then they showed when Matula the house got busted in, they arrested Matula, and Matula went to jail. They also went into hinting on the fact that his mother had an issue with drugs, about how she was hiding out in the room all the time. Then he got sent away to Oakland. They showed him in the theater at the school he was in with Jada, and they didn't show how they met. They just said that that's where they met. It was at the school, but they didn't even really say that he was actually at school. They just made it seem like he was just trying out for this play for Shakespeare, and he got the part. That's what it made it seem like. Then like I said, then he went to Oakland. They glossed over his involvement with the poetry club. They didn't focus at all about his friendships in the relationships that he made in Oakland. But I guess you got to watch Thug Angel and Resurrection movies to see that. I guess that's what's the untold portion. Is they skipped over everything that was already told in Resurrection and Thug Angel, and just tapped on that apart for a little bit. And then they go to him meeting Digital Underground and signing with them, making his videos, talking about Brenda's got a baby. And then from there, going on tour back out on the West Coast and hooking up with Biggie. His issue with the Biggie after he got shot, and Biggie's song that he thought was about him. So he came back with the Hit 'Em Up disc after he did a recording with Faith Evans and took some footage with Faith Evans out there one day. Yeah. Faith was never that damn cute, y'all. I just had to put that out there. Faith was never that damn cute. Snoop, I didn't like the dude who played Snoop. I didn't like the way he looked as far as comparison to Snoop, but that motherfucker sounded just like Snoop Dogg. Baby, he sounded just like Snoop. They briefly showed you Idi Amin. They briefly showed you Nate Dogg, but they didn't really put names to them. But they had some cats that looked like them. Shock G and Digital Underground. So yeah, it was a cool movie. All right, I'm at work. Talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching this recap of, not even a recap, a review of All Eyez on Me. Peace.